Hello and welcome back to episode 9 of Chiefsman's Corner Live. I'm your host, one of the commissioners of the WFL, Coach Winuvas of the now Detroit Lions. Finally back on our normal Wednesday 11 p.m. Eastern start time, and I am glad for it. Our game plan tonight is to discuss some housekeeping notes, take a look back at some Week 5 WFL action. Just going to do the scores, no stats. And we're going to talk some players of the podcast finally. And then we'll finish out with our usual live segment if anyone is tuned in live. If you are, welcome aboard. Thanks for listening. You can comment in YouTube chat and I'll have it pulled up beside the broadcast to see and respond to on the show. If you're watching the recording of this, thank you for watching. We appreciate any and all support. Without you guys, the WFL does not exist, and I truly mean that. The first thing we're going to talk about tonight is, once again, as almost always, the WFL's incentive plan. This plan allows you to get some perks that aren't available for every member simply by doing some extracurricular activities that involve WFL. Anything from Twitter to articles on the Neon Sports site to commenting or participating in the show. Anything that makes WFL a more immersive experience and increases its presence in the Madden community can earn you some sort of credit. Link to the incentive plan is available using the Couchbot command incentive plan, that's one word, incentive plan, in Discord. The second thing to talk about is our form Ask the Chief. You can use this form during the week between episodes to submit any questions you have for me, and I'll answer them during the show, giving you credit for the question. It's an easy way to build up incentive points and provide extra content for the podcast. You can use the Couchbot command Ask the Chief, that is all one word, Ask the Chief, to pull up the form in Discord. With the influx of new players, and mainly as a reminder to old players, I want to make sure we're all aware of some of the fundamentals. Be sure you're adhering to the 80-20 halfback rule, and be sure to check your depth charts for any stray halfbacks in the fullback depth chart, as well as illegal players in your sub-linebacker depth chart. You can look at the GM rules for more details. A link to the GM rules will be provided in the description of this video. I would hate to deliver WFL Players Association punishments for simple depth chart violations, so let's clean this up and let's get back on track. With housekeeping out of the way, let's recap some of the scores from Week 5 action and then highlight our offensive and defensive players on the podcast. In Week 5, we had the Panthers beating the Eagles to go to 3-2 on the season. 21-9 was the final. The Eagles moved to 2-3 on the year. We had a CPU simulation win for the Green Bay Packers as they moved to 3-2 and beat the Cincinnati Bengals 28-21. The Chargers and Browns play a very close game, but the Browns remain undefeated, 27-24 over the 1-4 Chargers. The Buccaneers and Dolphins had probably the game of the week. 44-42 was the final. The Buccaneers come out on top and move to 3-2 on the season, while the Dolphins fall to 2-1. The Jaguars beat the Titans 34-14 to move to 4-1 on the season. The Texans get a simulation victory over the New England Patriots 28-24. The Cowboys get beat by the Giants 23-0. Oof, that's a rough score. The Chiefs and Bills play, and in an upset, I would say, the Bills get their first victory of the season, winning 32-20 over the Kansas City Chiefs. The Washington football team gets a simulation win over my former team, the New Orleans Saints. The football team moves to 4-1 on the season. The Saints fall to 2-3. The Vikings get a 23-3 victory over the hapless Lions, who fall to 1-4 on the season. The Vikings move to 3-2 on the season. The Falcons, in a bit of an upset here, the Falcons win over the New York Jets 34-21 was the final there. The Raiders get a simulation win over the Bears 31-28. The Seahawks beat the Rams to move to 5-0 on the season. 17-8 was the final there, as the Rams fall to 3-2. The Cardinals get simulation lost to the 49ers. 42-21 was the final there, as the 49ers moved to 4-1 on the season. We now have a new Cardinals owner, so hopefully they can turn that around for that Cardinals team. The Steelers get a simulation win 0-23, the final there. And the final game on the docket, the Colts move to 4-1 on the season with a 31-28 victory over the tough Ravens, who fall to 2-3 on the year. With that being said, my offensive player of the podcast is Bills wide receiver Gabriel Davis. Yes, he is on the home page of the Neon Sports site And after looking at all the stats, I could have called Tom Brady for that game against the Dolphins, but I wanted to go with a little bit of a theme here as the Bills get their first victory of the year. Gabriel Davis gets 8 catches, 155 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the 32-20 victory over the Chiefs. So definitely a dominant force there in that victory. So I want to give the Bills some love in their first victory of the year. And then the defensive player of the podcast, also from a team getting their first victory of the season, Falcons defensive end Marlon Davidson, 2 tackles and 2.5 sacks in a 34-21 win over the New York Jets. So now we're going to see if we have anybody tuning in live. It doesn't look like it, but that's okay. We'll probably just go ahead and sit here for a minute and look at some stuff and go over some things, and then just call it a short podcast, kind of wrap it up and be quick about it this week. We'll see if anybody's tuned in right now. I don't see anybody, but just a reminder, again, I said it during the housekeeping notes, but you can use the Ask the Chief command in CouchBot to basically pull up a form that you can submit questions. You can do it anytime during the week, and I'll get those, and basically I can put those on the podcast for the following week, answer any questions you have, whether it's league-based, whether it's content as far as who's winning divisions, playoff races, things of that nature. Still a little early for playoff races, but always fun to talk anything that has WFL content. Don't see anybody. Yeah, at work. Yeah, I understand that, Smash. I hear you. So I think this will be a quick podcast. That's not a big deal. We'll just churn out a little bit of content this week. Next week, hopefully, we'll have some, probably week 8, so we'll kind of start to get to playoff races, kind of see some stuff ironing out as we get to the halfway point, maybe do some season MVPs and things of that nature, and kind of talk some awards, early award stuff. We'll see what's going on and where we're at in the season. I don't mind doing a short show tonight. I'm kind of worn out. The week's kind of kicked my booty, so I don't mind doing a short podcast here and kind of tuning it out. So again, if you have questions as far as during the week goes, please use the Ask the Chief form. You can find it, like I said, CouchBot commands. I guess I'll just go right to the outro. There's no problem here. Thank you guys for tuning in, whether you're live or whether you're live and in person, or are you tuning in after the recording is done. I appreciate it. The WFL appreciates it, and we hope you are entertained by the show. Let us know by throwing us a like, a subscribe, and leaving comments. Any feedback is appreciated. Until next Wednesday, folks, the corner's closed.